On third and short. First down, DeMarcado off to the races. 20.
Well, that's an easy win for the Cardinals. Gotta give Jonathan Gannon a lot of credit. After 2 straight losses at the last second on walk-off field goals, he was able to have his guys take care of business against the worst team in football. Needed that one badly. Sure, the Titans were a team that you were supposed to beat, but you can only control the games on your schedule, and a win is a win. And this was a darn good one, considering the circumstances. So let's just check how this game ended, and oh my goodness, how are they back in this thing? You're telling me that last play wasn't a touchdown? You're telling me he dropped the ball at the 1, and now the Titans look like the greatest show on turf offensively, and that you're in danger of losing this thing? You've got to be kidding me. All right, well, it's 3rd and 8. You're on the plus side of the 2-minute warning, so there's no real sense in playing the clock game here, especially after your last 2 runs went absolutely nowhere. Just get the first down by throwing, go down the field, you can basically end this game and put it on ice. Seeing as the best case scenario for the Titans at that point is to get the ball back with about 25 seconds left. As long as you don't call a design run out of the I formation, you should be okay, and you should at least give yourself a chance at winning this thing. So, come on, Cardinals. Your backs are against the wall. Let's see what you got.
Likelihood, you have to run it on 3rd and 8. They will indeed run. They need 8, and they're going to be well short. DeMarcado.
You're kidding me. You needed 8 yards, and that's what you call. That's what you call? Oh my goodness, you're going to lose this game. You're going to freaking lose this game. You're actually going to lose this one.
The long snapper. The kick from Sly is good.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where a gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Arizona Cardinals head coach, Jonathan Gannon. Gannon has to be a dead man walking at this point, right? The Cardinals look like a completely dysfunctional mess in year 3 of his coaching tenure. And this entire game against the Titans proved just that. As dumb as you think this play was, and don't worry, this was dumb, I assure you, it was even dumber than that. Because Jonathan Gannon showed that he has no idea what he's doing, just as he seemingly had no idea what he's been doing throughout his entire tenure. The NFC West might be the best division in football, but there is a clear team in the cellar, and it's the Arizona Cardinals. Without a doubt, the worst team in the division is Arizona, and as long as Gannon is there, things are going to get a heck of a lot worse before they get better. So with that being said, let's take a look at why calling a run on 3rd and 8 on the plus side of the 2-minute warning when the other team has a timeout is a really bad idea. There are 3 logical reasons why a team would run on 3rd and 8 that have nothing to do with the defense and how they're lined up. There are only 3 reasons in 3-down territory why a team would come out in the I formation with 1 receiver on 3rd and 8. Number 1, you're pinned far back in your own territory at the 3-yard line, and you're just trying to get some breathing room on the punt so that you're not punting out the back of your own end zone, because you also don't want to risk a safety on a pass with a hold or a sack. Number 2, you're on the brink of field goal range, and you don't want to do anything to get yourself out of field goal range. Or, number 3, you're just trying to kill the clock. You're trying to run down as much time as possible and take as much time off of the clock as possible to maximize your chances of winning the game. In 3-down territory, barring injury, those are the only 3 scenarios why you would run on 3rd and 8. Obviously, the first 2 scenarios don't apply here. You're not in field goal range, and you're not backed up. So we are left to conclude that you're trying to kill the clock. But you see why this is really freaking stupid, right? You see why it makes no sense, none whatsoever, to treat this as a kill-the-clock moment. Even if you're winning the game and your goal is to kill the clock, this is really stupid. There's 2:14 left. Let's say you run the ball and 5 seconds come off the clock on the play. It then goes all the way down to the 2-minute warning, where you're forced to punt. The clock stops at the 2-minute warning. By the time you punt and the Titans get the ball back, there's going to be 1:53 left for the Titans to work with. Compare that to throwing the ball, which gives you a better chance of getting the first down, and even if the play fails and the clock stops, there will likely be 2:09 left. When the Titans get it back, they'll have 9 extra seconds to work with versus what happens if you run the ball. And don't get me wrong, there are times where 9 seconds makes a huge difference. If there were 7 seconds versus 16 seconds, that is big. But the difference between running and throwing in this spot, the Titans are still going to have approximately 2 minutes left with a timeout, mind you, to get into field goal range. There is no universe, none whatsoever, where the Titans run out of time to get in that spot. They're going to have the adequate number of plays to take the lead. They're going to have the adequate number of plays to win the game. They can still run their offense. It made no sense why you'd run the ball in that spot, seeing as there was no chance the play was going to result in a first down just to save yourself a couple extra seconds. If the Titans had no timeouts left and there was 1 minute and 10 seconds left, believe me, I completely get running the ball there. But here, that's just moronic on so many levels. The 9 seconds does not matter, because you can't say that you genuinely thought in the I formation on 3rd and 8 that you were going to get the first down. There was no way you were actually going to get the requisite number of yards to keep the drive alive. On the day prior to that 3rd and 8 run, the Cardinals running backs picked up 143 rushing yards on 24 carries. You might be saying to yourself, hey, wait a second, that's a heck of a day. That's about 6 yards per carry. That shows that maybe they could have gotten the first down here, because they were running it down Tennessee's throats all game long. So pretty good, right? Can't hate the decision. Well, this is where the mean is a worse stat than the median, because this is highly misleading. Because 71 of those yards came on the Demercado run where he dropped the ball at the 1-yard line. That's half of the yardage that the Cards backs got all day. Take that run out, and the Cardinals had 23 carries for 72 yards, or just 3.1 yards per carry. If we go Olympic gymnastics style and remove the highest run and the lowest run just to balance it out, the Cardinals had 22 carries for 73 yards. So it's not like much changes. The average is still way less than 8 yards. It's actually half of that, not even. And by the way, you need 8 yards to get the first down. 8 yards is what you need on this play if you're Jonathan Gannon in order to keep the drive alive and maximize your chances of winning. You had 4 runs on the drive so far, and the 4 runs went for a combined 8 yards. On the 24 carries that the Cardinals had on the day, just 3 of them, or 1/8 of them, went for 8 yards or more, with one of those runs being a 10-yard run on 3rd and 18, deep in your own territory, where the Titans had no one in the box because they were playing the situation there. So I hesitate to even count that as a legit run, seeing as that was a wave the white flag kind of run. You get the idea. The odds of picking up the first down were super slim, especially when your formation is inviting everyone to stack the box. And that's fine if the goal was to kill clock. But killing the clock made no sense because the clock was already going to stop right after the play thanks to the 2-minute warning. And because the Titans are going to have plenty of time left to march down the field with a timeout in their own back pocket. Which raises the obvious question. Why did this play happen? By all accounts, this play was a terrible play, one of the worst offensive plays of the season that had no chance at working, and was a play that served no purpose outside of saving 9 seconds that the Titans didn't even need. So what gives? Well, prepare for this dumb decision to get even dumber. Because if you're thinking to yourself, it's hard to blame Gannon for this, because his offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, is the one calling the plays. Oh no. Think again. Because Gannon knew what was coming. He knew that this was the play that the Cardinals were going to be running. and he did absolutely nothing to stop it. If you want to know how dysfunctional the Cardinals are and want to truly understand why I've never been high on this staff and why they need to blow it up, the next minute will explain that. Because as Gannon said about the call, I talked to Drew Petzing about it. I think we've got to put our guys in a little bit of a better spot there. We were expecting one thing. They didn't give it to us. I could have used a timeout there. That's something I could have done a little bit better, because I know he didn't really love the call either. First off, what the heck were you expecting? You lined up in the I formation with one receiver out wide. You thought the Titans were going to have 3 in the box or something? You thought the Titans were going to be expecting something else besides what you called when you lined up like that? If I lay my bat out like I'm going to bunt and the infield comes in, I can't say I wasn't expecting the infield to come in. If I'm down by 3 points in basketball with 1 second left and the defense is guarding the arc and there's no one in the paint, I can't say I wasn't expecting the defense to line up like that. You get why this makes no sense, right? I get wanting to call a play and then not having the defense line up the way you expected them to. That happens all the time. But when you make it very obvious with your formation that you're running the ball and you're not looking to pass, and the defense stacks the box because there's no one to throw the ball to based on the formation that you're in, you can't just act all shocked and surprised when the Titans line up that way. Second, what do you mean no one liked the play? You knew this was a bad idea, and your offensive coordinator didn't want to call the play either? So who called the play? Who freaking called this play? If you didn't call it, if Drew didn't call it, and if Kyler Murray didn't call it, then who called it? Did the play just fall out of the sky or something like that? Was I hallucinating this entire time that this play actually happened? How does this make sense? After a reporter followed up, because this was such a weird response, Gannon then added that this was a learning experience for him, which is always good when you're learning on the job in year 3 with regards to how to call plays, how to get guys on the same page, and how to manage the clock. Always a good sign when a coach can't do the basics like that. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse, Kyler wasn't allowed to check out of the play, and Gannon decided not to override Drew's play call that apparently he didn't even call because Drew's the play caller, and he never override his offensive coordinator. Which raises the question, outside of assaulting his players on the sideline, what does Gannon even do? Seriously, what does he do around here? This feels like I'm listening to Urban Meyer in 2021 with the Jaguars, where every responsibility was delegated to someone else. His quarterback can't check out of plays in year 7, despite being the number 1 overall pick, and the franchise guy getting paid $250 million. His offensive coordinator calls plays that he doesn't even like. He doesn't call a timeout to stop it. What does the man do? There is no hierarchy or chain of command here. This is so dysfunctional and so broken that I don't even know what else to say. The Cardinals are a mess, Jonathan Gannon is a mess, and I feel for the fans of this team. I really do. Because I don't have any faith with this staff and this ownership that things are going to get better anytime soon. So what do we learn from all of this? Don't call a play to keep the clock moving when it has no chance at working and when the clock is going to stop regardless of what you do. Don't call a play to limit how much time the opposing team has left when time is not an issue for them. Don't call a play that has no chance of picking up the first down when it hasn't worked all day, it hasn't worked all drive, and when your formation gives the play away immediately. And you should probably like the play you call before actually calling it. Just a hunch. If no one knows who called the play and you can't communicate that properly, then that starts with you as the head coach. And you should get it figured out immediately or be relieved of your duties. If no one likes the play, odds are it's not going to work. Much like how if no one in the choir likes the song in the repertoire, it's probably not going to sound good. If no one likes the play you're calling, it's not going to be executed properly. And if you're having trouble understanding these basic concepts in year 3 of your head coaching tenure, then it's time to hang it up and do us all a favor and call it a career. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Check out our live streaming schedule for the next few days. We're live every single day on this channel, whether we're covering a sporting event or playing GeoGuessr or just taking your requests. So make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single time that we go live and so that you can join this community. Also, thanks to all our members and our Patreon supporters who get exclusive perks like their name at the end of each video, members-only Q&A streams, and cool emojis to use on videos and during streams. See how you can join this community and become a member or a Patreon member by clicking the link in the description below.